Paul first calls us to direct our affection away from ourselves and onto Jesus. Then he encourages us to transfer our affections from earth to heaven. In chapter 3 of Colossians, Paul shifts to the practical implications of Christ's supremacy for our lives as believers. Paul tells us to set our hearts and minds on things above, not on earthly things. He also gives us specific guidance for how to live as followers of Jesus, including putting to death our sinful nature and putting on a new self. Since then, you have been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. Put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature: sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. Because of these, the wrath of God is coming. You used to walk in these ways in the life you once lived, but now you must also rid yourselves of all such things as these: anger, rage, malice, slander, and filthy language from your lips. Do not lie to each other, since you have taken off your old self with its practices and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of its Creator. Here there is no Gentile or Jew, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbarian, Scythian, slave or free, but Christ is all and is in all. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Colossians 3, 1 through 14. What does Paul's teaching mean for us? Well, it means that we should seek to live in a way that reflects the reality of who we are in Jesus. I know this sounds deep, but with God's help, we need to get rid of our old self and put on a new self. Paul tells us that our new self is a day-to-day process where we are remade into the image of our Creator, Jesus Christ. We need to focus on the awesome things that last forever, rather than getting bogged down by the temporary things of this world, especially the empty stuff in our technology-driven, media-saturated pop culture. In chapter 3, Paul shifts from doctrinal information to personal application. He gives us the principles for Christian living, what Paul calls holy living. You could break down Paul's principles into two main categories: the principle of affection and the principle of apparel. The principle of affection has to do with our likes and desires. Paul first calls us to direct our affection away from ourselves and onto Jesus. Then he encourages us to transfer our affections from earth to heaven. Since then, you have been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. Colossians 3, 1 through 3. The principle of apparel has to do with things we take off and things we put on. Think of our lives, emotions, and affections like a spiritual closet. Paul writes that the Lord's anger comes to those who practice all kinds of immorality, greed, evil, and idolatry. So, Paul instructs believers to take off such things as anger, malice, slander, lying, and filthy language, since you have taken off your old self with its practices and have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of its Creator. Colossians 3, 9 and 10.
Oh, hi. It's TV's Dave Stotts, and I'm here to tell you to hit the thing and make sure you ring the thing for more of drive-through history, because that's what we all need.